Good morning, Board of Trustees, Mr. Crane, distinguished guests, faculty, family, friends, and the graduating class of 2021. I want to congratulate our class of 2021 for getting to the end of our brilliant high school journey, and I'm so thankful to have the honor of speaking here today at the commencement ceremony, even online. I want to also thank my mom, dad, grandma, and grandpa for teaching me precious lessons on how to be a more loving, genuine, and self-disciplined person. I could not be where I am today without you all. So, I often wonder, what defines a Stony Brook student? And my answer to this question has been constantly changing throughout my 4 years at SBS. So, as a freshman who didn't have the courage to talk a lot, my answer was confidence. Then as a sophomore, my answer was hard work. So that year, Americano from Dunkin' Donuts became my best friend. Then as a junior, my answer changed from hard work to kindness and service. So I began joining clubs and serving students around me. And now, before I tell you my current answer to the same question, I want to take a moment and talk about my favorite place at SBS, which is Barnhouse Dorm. To me, Barnhouse has been part of my SBS identity. Here, I have laughed, cried, and had the most wonderful conversations with friends and dorm moms. Throughout the years in Barnhouse, I grew from someone who often needed help from others to someone who offered help. And I am certain that my life here at SBS would be quite different without Barnhouse. But for most of you, Barnhouse probably isn't a significant part of your Stony Brook experience. Instead, you might be a brilliant and dedicated member of the Ethics Bowl, mock trial, or robotics team. You might be an activities council leader who's always the first one to brainstorm for the team. You might be a brilliant athlete who leads your team on the baseball field, on the tennis court, or on the track. So now I want to get back to my previous question. What defines us, Stony Brook student? As I recall my past experiences at the school as well as those of my close friends at the end of our high school journey, this is my new answer. Our Stony Brook experience isn't defined by anything. So then I can summarize our Stony Brook life with just a list of our commonalities. This is in no way because our Stony Brook education was purposeless and lacked focus. I think no one would disagree that a monochrome world is a boring and lifeless one. We should be glad instead because SBS is in the cold era mold and our experiences here are so diverse they don't have a fixed shape. Stony Brook enriched or perhaps changed our interests and brought out our hidden talents, potentials, and passions. Stony Brook has in fact shaped us into unique individuals with diverse personalities and interests. And we in turn have shaped our Stony Brook experience with our own distinct passions. In short, SBS is memorable not because it shaped us into Stony Brookish people, but because it makes our experiences here a colorful collage, and we should be really proud of that. And while we have passions, interests, and therefore goals and ambitions, we often mess up. Though I have the great honor of speaking here today as a salutatorian, but let me tell you very honestly that I did not become the best student in my favorite classes. I've also made rash decisions that have hurt myself and those around me. I once feared being around people because of my problems, but I've now shared my stories with many others and helped them when they were going through hard times. In this process, I found my value here at SBS and learned precious lessons. And while our stories differ, we all eventually learn something. So what have you learned? In my AP US history class, Mr. Byrne always says, write down 3 things you've learned from last night's reading. Now, I hope everyone can take a short moment and think about 3 things you've learned from your unique education at Stony Brook. So for me, I learned that there is no need at all to be pressured by what others think of me. That I should be quick to listen and slow to judge, and that love and understanding can be more powerful than anything else. Our lists of 3 things again are different, but they all show how our life at SBS has helped us become more mature individuals. So if you ever look at the signs next to Chapman Parkway or Gable Line, you're going to notice that the Stony Brook School is said to be a preparatory school. And during my first year at the school, I really thought what this school does is to prepare me to excel academically, to do a lot of extracurricular activities, and then eventually get into a competitive US college. But now I know that what's much more important is that SBS also prepares us to think and reflect, to sympathize and connect, to contribute and impact in our own special ways, not just in college, but also beyond. This is what our SBS experiences here have taught us. So after you leave Stony Brook and one day recall your experience and education here, what are some things that will pop up in your mind? Is it Gable Line? Is it Swanson? Is it Johnston or Alexander or Simons or Monroe? Or robotics competitions? Or the chapel talks? While our choices will definitely differ from each other, they all, again, mark our growth here and help shape us into who we are. So I hope we all can be proud of the passions we amplify or discover here at SBS and be happy about being an SBS alum and the way SBS has shaped us. Again, congratulations, class of 2021. Good luck in all your future endeavors. I love every one of you, and thank you so much.